Yeah,
All right,
so
we're
we're
ready.
gonna have to split the decision there because, I mean, dude,
Podcast New York.
What's up, Dueling Decades? This is Wax. Peace to all you guys, and thanks for having me on the show. Will it be the 90s or the 80s? Beanie Babies or Crack Babies? Will it be Nirvana or Madonna? Maybe Britney, maybe Whitney. Do you like new metal or new wave? Dave Grohl or Super Dave? I don't know. But now the battle begins. Dueling Decades. Let's see who wins.
Dueling Decades. From the Podcast New York studios, it's another all-new Dueling Decades, the adult-only retro game show where the decades battle for supremacy because it's your history. We just fight for it. Welcome back. I am Marc James, and this week we return with a week experience battle. I'll be competing with July 15th through the 21st of 1979 alongside the other duelers and the decades they will be fighting for. First off, proving that sometimes the chill pill is the hardest to swallow, say hello to Mancrush.
What's up, everybody? That's right. I have July 18th through 24th of 1999. And since we have to do this 3 times a show, and I think last time we shortchanged them by only giving them one, head over. If you're on our YouTube, great. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. But also, we're on Pod TV. We are on there, and just download the app. It's on the Fire Stick. It's on Roku. It's on Apple TV. It's on all that fun stuff. So there's one.
Also returning to the show is the media king of the North. Please welcome Joe Findlay.
Pod TV. We got you covered already. Love you guys, Pod TV. But yeah, I'm got the third week of June, 1989, and let's get gnarly with it.
And as always here on the show, we need someone to adjudicate all of this awesomeness. So this week's guest judges are from the totally rockin' band The World Over, who you can catch on tour this fall on the Back from the Dead tour with Power Man 5000. All rise and welcome judges Christian and Alex.
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
And Alex is the first ever judge to do this from his car. He's going to stop at a drive-in, he told us later, which is going to be pretty awesome.
global judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest will be held under Dueling Decades rules. The judges' coin flip shall decide who picks first out of the 5 Dueling Decades categories: movies, television, music, news, and hot products. A judge's ruling will determine who wins each round, allowing the victor to choose the next available category. The first 3 rounds are worth 1 point each, with rounds 4 and 5 worth 2 points apiece. And in the event of a tie after all 5 rounds, we'll go to a final wild card round. Remember, duelers, to review the show, listen, subscribe, and play along at home, it's time for more Dueling Decades. All right, let's toss it right down to our guest judges for this episode, Christian and Alex, for the coin toss.
What do you got, Christian?
I got a coin.
All right. That works.
All right, this week's coin toss will be between Mancrush and Joe Findlay. Joe, why don't you take the honors and call it this week?
Let's give it for heads, seeing as I'm up north.
All right. Heads it is.
Whoa.
Ooh, big day.
All right, Joe Findlay, you won the coin toss. You take control of the board, and you get to select our first category. Where are we going, man?
Let's start out with TV this time. Okay. So I want to take you to July 21st, 1989. It was a great day for the good people of home box office, as they had a fight night going on. Mike Tyson was defending his undisputed world championship, that's the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles, against Carl Williams. It was supposed to be a big event for HBO. Only one problem: the fight lasted 93 seconds. Mike Tyson hit some brutal shots. I actually watched the fight today. It's on YouTube, the whole thing, because short. But just the sound of Tyson's punches landing, like I bruised a rib just watching that happen. And he just put Carl Williams on his ass early on. Then he gets up before the 8 count, and the referee, Randy Newman, called it anyways, and caused a lot of controversy because excuse me, because Carl Williams and his representation ended up appealing to all 3 governing bodies, asking them to turn the fight to a no contest from a technical knockout because he said he was still fit to fight. None of them did that, and they basically trash talked him and said, maybe if you want another shot at the champ, you should, knock out a few real boxers first. But this left HBO in a little bit of a pickle because they had about an hour of broadcast left and they didn't know what to do. They hadn't planned for Mike Tyson destroying a person, despite the fact that 5 months prior he knocked Frank Bruno out hard. So they had to scramble a little bit, and they ended up airing an episode of Kids in the Hall, Canadian, and HBO's One Night Stand comedy special. So they had to put up graphics during those just to let people know why the unscheduled programming was going on. So that's what you had, a very short Mike Tyson fight, and HBO scrambling for their lives on July 21st, 1989.
Wow. So much like the Kids in the Hall, are you telling me that Mike Tyson was crushing your head?
He was doing that regularly till he lost his next fight to James Buster Douglas.
Jeez. All right, Mancrush, what did you bring for the television round?
All right, well, I'm glad that Joe brought fighting because so did I. But let's go July 18th, 1999. And it's been a while since I had the opportunity to select some wrestling for the show. And being that this is 1999, how could you not be watching wrestling on television at this point in our lives? Now, this is a pay-per-view. It didn't fall on a Monday night. But do you recall how amazing Monday nights were in 1999?
Yeah.
My wife, who didn't even like wrestling, was all about Monday nights. Our friend Eric would come over, her brother would come over, and we would watch WWF Raw like religiously. Sometimes we flip back and forth, see what was happening on Nitro. But it was such a special time for wrestling. And if you lived through it, you know how awesome it was. And if you didn't, I'm sorry, because you will never get to experience that ever again. It's the truth. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. That said, it wasn't all about the WCW and WWF at the time. For the real diehard fans, we also had ECW, of course, talking about Extreme Championship Wrestling. And I've picked ECW for a television round before, and that was with their launch of Hardcore TV. But I don't think I ever got to cover an ECW pay-per-view until now. So on July 18th, 1999, we got ECW Heatwave. And once again, something that would probably never fly again, not even on a pay-per-view. It's just not going to happen. Some notable names were on the card. You had Rob Van Dam, you had Taz. Jazz actually got the first ever win for a female on an ECW pay-per-view, and she beat a dude. She beat Jason Knight in that one. She had Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, just incredible. So all like the big ECW names. And you even had the surprise return of the recently deceased New Jack. Rest in peace, New Jack. That was only like a couple weeks back. But one of the names I left out here was the Dudley Boys. And at the time, the Dudley Boys, they were their 6-time tag team champs. And they would end up losing the belts to Spike Dudley and Balls Mahoney on this pay-per-view. But back in 1999, this was a major upset and big time news. In 2021, you look back at this event and it's always referred to as the Dudley Boys Heat Wave incident. So prior to this match, you had Bubba Ray and Devon. They're just cutting a promo for seems like a half hour, but it's 10 minutes, which seems insanely long. And this pretty much, it was the Dudley Boys doing what the Dudleys do in most cities, it was nothing new at the time, but there's no fucking way this would ever happen in 2021. So nowadays it's labeled as an incident, but this was pretty run-of-the-mill Dudley Boys at the time. So if you want to see the whole thing, just head over to YouTube, search for it, just put in Dudley Boys promo incident Heatwave 99. Let's just say this, the tamest thing in this 10-minute ramp was when they started this whole thing when Devon came out and told the crowd to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's the tamest thing in this entire thing. The Dudley Boys, they knew how to bring heat like nobody else. And I can't even say anything else that these guys said because our video would get flagged by Facebook and it would immediately get taken down. I'm not even shitting you on that one. I'll throw these out there. They got into a spitting match with a mother and daughter ringside. They almost got into a fight with some other dude, threw a beer on him, and lots of naughty, naughty words. So it's ECW Heatwave 1999. Go check out that clip. I guarantee it's worth it.
Wow. Excellent pay-per-view. All right, gents, for my television pick, let's head up to Seattle for the 1979 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The game was televised nationally on NBC with primetime coverage beginning at 8 p.m. July 17th, 1979, at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, home of the Seattle Mariners, who were just in their third year in the league. So an Associated Press article gave rave reviews to the Peacock's coverage of the game, saying that NBC captured the key play-by-play from every conceivable angle. It gave viewers some interesting chatter from the broadcast booth, and generally it got high marks for its coverage of the 50th annual All-Star Game. The article would then go on to note the standout play-by-play work from the team of Tony Kubek and Tom Seaver, and the National League ended up winning 7-6 for their 8th consecutive win. The standout performer from the game was Dave Parker, the outfielder from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He would go on to win the MVP award for the game for his outstanding defensive glove work and his powerful throwing arm, and not his powerful bat that won him the National League MVP just the previous year. Another big standout for the game included the Mets' Lee Mazzilli, who would homer in just his first All-Star at bat. But the real highlight of the game would come early in the first inning. And as an article in the Associated Press would say, Morgana steals the show. The game was interrupted in the first inning when stripteaser Morgana Roberts, a longtime baseball fan, ran on the field to embrace George Brett of the Kansas City Royals. Brett was stepping to the plate in the bottom of the first inning when Morgana appeared from the left field stands, ran across the infield, and met him at the plate to deliver the kiss. Brett had been her target before, so he accepted the kiss gracefully, the article says. The stripper, who was wearing only shorts and a t-shirt, was cornered by 2 security guards who ushered her off the field. So I give you the 50th annual All-Star Game on NBC, July 17th, 1979.
Better than this All-Star Game.
It is. Now, and I believe in this All-Star Game, the American League just won for the 8th consecutive time. So kind of an odd parallel there.
And a Toronto Blue Jay was MVP.
That's right.
And no strippers.
No strippers. All right, let's throw it down to our guest judges for this episode, Christian Rivera and Alex. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Alex.
I don't very much. But what I do think is Marc James, you had some good stuff. I mean, you had some good stories from that time. We're judging who has the better stories, right?
However you want to do it.
Yeah. What you think is the best, be it stories, be it just the event itself, be it.
Right.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure then. Because, Mark, you got Tyson, you got male strippers running up to home base kissing some dude. Mancrush, you did well, but Marc James had some pretty eventful moments there.
Yeah, so we're going to have to split the decision there because, I mean, dude, like, wrestling in the late 90s, like, that's where it's at. Like, and I guess, like you said, you have to kind of live through that and witness it to be able to really get it. And I mean, it was just such an awesome time. And, especially I was a Monday Nitro fan, WCW, watching the Stinger come out of the fucking rafters, looking like the Crow.
That was Mark's shit. Mark was all about WCW.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
4 Horsemen, Sting, early Booker T, Benoit. Fucking, it was amazing back then.
NWO, Wolfpack.
Oh yeah, I'm still NWO for life. Always will be. Wow.
All right, so you guys have to fight it out.
Yeah.
You know what? They don't have to fight it out. I'm going to concede the point just because it's wrestling versus baseball. Mancrush, you can take this round.
Oh,
all right.
If it was anything other than the Dudley Boys and ECW, fuck you. But you know what? It's ECW, so you can't. I can't argue with that.
I'm telling you, like, just go and look up this 10-minute clip, and your jaw will hit the floor because you will not believe what they're saying.
It's an absolutely great pay-per-view. You got to check it out if you're a wrestling fan.